I love it. That is the side of Mitt Romney we've been waiting for. That was him sticking to what he said about welfare. Why should he apologize for telling the truth? I have two guys here who are all about the revealing of the truth when it comes to welfare through their organization, FreedomWorks. With me, Matt Kibbe, President and CEO of FreedomWorks, and Adam Brandon, Executive Vice President of FreedomWorks. Were you guys shocked to see this video last night? I mean, it broke. It was everywhere. I mean, it was Mother Jones, New York Times, National Journal, Business Insider, CNN. I mean, you couldn't get away from this video. And then I thought, sitting at my kitchen table preparing the next day's show, awesome, I'm going to run with this.
Finally, a conversation about something, but I love the fact that the left is shocked about the us versus them narrative. Where do you think it came from?
Yeah, they started class warfare. They built this machine. Yep. They made people dependent on it, and now Romney's actually saying what most taxpayers know to be true. And do you think this is going to endear him with the Tea Party at all?
Well, I was always thinking about the bumper sticker we used to have in our refrigerator in our office, Margaret Thatcher. The problem with socialism, sooner or later you run out of other people's money. Well, that's what Romney was saying. We're actually coming to the point where we're running out of other people's money.
And it's true. I mean, at some point you can't tax the economy anymore. You know, funny thing is, the other night was the 1-year anniversary of Occupy. Mm-hmm. It's already gone, pretty much. We did a whole stat on the violence associated with Occupy last night on the program. It almost seems like, for all their talk, the Tea Party is dead, Occupy is dead. And, you know, again, I don't know what Mitt Romney was doing in this video before it was shot. I don't know who was in attendance. I know Jimmy Carter's grandson was there. But it seems like it's some weird coincidental moment. Occupy dies, and Romney finds his Tea Party voice.
That's right. And I think this really comes down to, I analyze this. I look at the question of where were the bathrooms in Zuccotti Park? And think about it. They assumed that someone else was going to take care of everything, the food, the jobs, the porta potties. Instead, they start pooping in the streets. We never did that at a Tea Party. We waited in line. We actually funded our own porta potties. We got permits. We picked up our trash. There's a fundamental difference here, and it's a sense of entitlement. It's a sense that I don't have to take care of it because somebody else is going to. And that unraveled what
very
was
quickly,
an Occupy community just like that.
Let me ask you something. I'm not expecting the Ron Paul supporters to go all in for Mitt Romney. But certainly there's a percentage, certainly there are independent voters, certainly there are Tea Party supporters that are nonpartisan that hear him addressing, between Paul Ryan's seriousness when it comes to budget issues and now Mitt Romney. It's almost better that it was scandalous and off record, because this was not a prepared speech. This is him just leveling with these people. It sounds like almost like after the event. You think this gets him a bump with independent and Tea Party supporters?
One of my good friends is a Ron Paul guy from Wisconsin. And he sent out an email to me this morning saying, for the first time, I agreed with Mitt Romney.
And, you know, Ron Paul, you know, during the primaries, they didn't attack one another so much. When Ron Paul was asked about paying capital, he said, I have no problem with that. When Mitt Romney asserted that he thought Obamacare, or Romney Care as it was called, should stay a state program, even though we did hear him talk about, you know, maybe this should be a national mandate. But during the primaries, he said, let's leave this at where it belongs, at the state level. A lot of libertarians said, well, I don't like it, but if you're leaving it at the state level. But this really gets to the heart of the politically correct way we look at the recipient class. We have 1/3 of the population reliant on government. He has pointed out rightly that that is unsustainable.
Well, you think about who the Tea Party is, who the Ron Paul uprising, who these represent. I call them functional libertarians, but that's a fancy way of saying that they're independent people that want to see a difference between the two candidates. And up until this point, we had a Mitt Romney who, frankly, was kind of running a campaign about nothing. I'm not Obama. Obama destroyed the economy. Vote for me. Now we're going to have a debate about the conversation about the entitlement state, about dependency. Who actually foots the bill? The top 1%, the much-hated top 1%, they pay 40% of all income taxes. Let's have a conversation about the facts. And I think with facts, you draw in the independents, including a lot of the Ron Paul revolution, who want to have a conversation about something.
Let me ask you this. I pointed out during the monologue that government for a generation has sought to buy off the middle class with tax credits. Right. And as long as they were getting their tax credits, they really kind of left government alone to do what it was going to do with welfare. But I pointed out that when you look at some of the programs that they've included the middle class in and said, well, you're paying for this, you're getting $1 for everything that you pay into. But wait, there are people who don't pay in, so you can't possibly put your money into a pot with people who put nothing in and draw an exact amount out. You have to take a loss here. It's almost as if Romney has opened up a huge discussion here unknowingly.
Well, I was thinking about Atlas Shrugged the other day. You're almost getting into a moment.
And we're firing on all 8 cylinders. Atlas Shrugged, FreedomWorks.
But seriously, you're getting to a point where, I mean, do we have enough producers who can sustain and kind of subsidize the not producers? And that's one thing that's always made America strong, is we're that place in the world where the producers could go and do something, follow their dreams, and I benefit when other people are following their dreams.
Let me ask you this.